This is BTV.
Everyone wants to pay less to fly, and the folks at Canada Jetlines want Canadians to have that choice. Jetlines is confident their ultra-low-cost carrier will find the same success that other low-cost airlines around the world have achieved.
We as Canadians simply don't fly around our own country as much as we should compared to other people, and it's airfare. It's a lot cheaper for some people to take a vacation in Mexico than it is to visit their sister in Regina.
My question is, Canadians, why are you paying so much for airfare? You don't have to.
Canada is the only developed country in the world that doesn't have an ultra-low-cost carrier. The model has been perfected in Europe, perfected in the US, and perfected in Asia.
The technological advances in the industry have been significant over the years. The input costs for airlines have dropped dramatically, including the price of fuel. Yet, the airfare structure here in Canada is relatively unchanged.
And why is that the case? I don't think you'll be surprised by the answer.
Because there's a lack of price competition.
There is a duopoly here in Canada.
92% of the domestic traffic is dominated by Air Canada and WestJet.
Canada is the 16th most expensive aviation market in the world.
We think there's room for a carrier to come in at the lower fare level, take market share and stimulate new demand.
So if fares are high because of a lack of competition, then what has really prevented an ultra-low-cost carrier from taking off?
The reason we don't have an ultra-low-cost carrier in Canada is really the lack of available risk capital to get one off the ground in the domestic financial markets here in Canada. For launching a new airline, you'll really need access to foreign money that has experience in investing in these type of ventures.
Though Mark Morabito already had a track record raising capital in the US, Asia, and Europe, he had to go to the Canadian government, not for a handout, but for a hand up.
I felt that if I was able to get access to that foreign money for a ULCC venture, that I could get it done. But that meant I first had to go to the government on bended knee and ask them to raise the foreign ownership limit for this project, which is something that they had never done before in the history of the country.
Raising sufficient foreign capital has been critical. Raising experienced human capital? Priceless.
People are clamoring for an alternative. We have over 90% of the market controlled by two incumbent carriers.
I love working with this team. These are some of the most experienced ultra-low-cost carrier executives in the world, and we absolutely have the A-list on our board.
We're following the EasyJet model. We have two former executives that helped build that company at the senior level. One has gone on to do so again at Wizz, and we're following that model.
With a combined 20 years of experience in senior management at EasyJet and Wizz Air, John Stevenson understands why those two airlines have succeeded.
EasyJet and Wizz Air have been successful for so many years because they identified the right business model at the very beginning, and they kept a disciplined approach to delivering that business model.
What are a few of the features that will make Jetlines a successful ultra-low-cost carrier?
First is significantly lower costs than the incumbent carriers, so you can offer significantly lower prices. The second thing is volume. It's about focusing on the many, not the privileged few. The third thing that characterizes ultra-low-cost carriers is operational simplicity. For example, you would have only one aircraft type in your fleet. The fourth item is a pay-per-use model, so that you don't penalize the customers. You only want the seat. You just pay for what you use.
Jetlines expects to be in the air by June of 2018. And where do they plan to go?
In the summertime, we'll be flying domestic Canada and selected points in the United States. And in the wintertime, we will shift a lot of our capacity to deep south flying to the sun destinations that Canadians want to go to. We're going to be centrally located in the major population center of Canada, which is Toronto. Over 8 million people reside here. All of our flights will originate and terminate in the Toronto area.
But don't look for this ultra-low-cost carrier at the ultra-high-cost Pearson International Airport.
Starting out, we're going to be flying from Hamilton Airport, and we won't touch Pearson with a 10-foot pole. You use the secondary airports and build up your customer base and build up your loyalty and develop a following. That's the key, one of the keys to success of an ultra-low-cost carrier.
Jetline's strategy of relying on secondary airports should have spin-off benefits.
Airfare is critical, as you think about business and you think about people headquartering their businesses in your community. We're really lowering the bar in terms of cost for people to access that air service. It allows us to go into markets that maybe previously couldn't support or didn't support direct and consistent jet air service.
They want to know, are you going to fly to? And it's the airport near them. And people are just clamoring for it.
And the presence of an ultra-low-cost carrier in Canada may provide another benefit.
The effect that Canada Jetlines will have on the Canadian aviation market will be to lower the fares overall for all customers. Not only will our customers benefit by getting an ultra-low fare, but I would expect that the fares of the mainline carriers will come down as well.
There will be much marketing fanfare, but the actual startup will be quite modest.
We've got 2 aircraft to start. We have to start signing up leases for more aircraft. We need agreements with more airports, and we need to put the financing package together that'll allow us to launch and withstand some competitive response. All of that work is underway and will proceed in an orderly fashion as we move to launch date next summer.
You can have sufficient capital, the right strategy, and lots of experience, but ultimately, you still need to believe you're going to succeed.
It has the right business model for this market.
We are going to be able to offer customers the lowest fare in the marketplace.
Canadians want to fly, they just need to be able to afford to do it.
On the first flight, I intend to be walking the aisles with the flight attendants serving the customers.
Will Canadian travelers be lining up to fly the ultra-low-cost skies? Jetlines should find out when seats go on sale next spring.